Hi students! Today we're going to learn about Surrealism, one of my favorite Surrealist artists, Rene Magritte, and do our own version of one of his paintings called The Return. Now what is Surrealism? There are two parts to this word. Sur, the S-U-R, that means beyond. So surrealism means beyond realism or beyond reality. Surrealist artists wanted to go beyond reality to dig deeper into our imagination and our unconscious mind. Surrealism was inspired by dreams, and many surrealist paintings look dreamlike or fantasy-like. Surrealist artists wanted to depart from reality and dive deeper into our minds and explore our dreams and imagination. Now, let's learn a little bit about one of my favorite surrealist artists, Rene Magritte. Rene Magritte was a man of mystery. He's known as the man in a suit and bowler hat, or the man with an apple in front of his face. He was born in Belgium in 1898 and had a great imagination and a sense of humor, both of which come out in his art. His paintings are realistic but extremely strange and unrealistic at the same time. He switches things around and places ordinary objects in unexpected places. Take a look at this painting of seemingly ordinary things in supersized and weird places. Magritte's style was realistic, but all of his paintings look dreamlike and fantasy-like. And his artwork makes you pause and wonder, what am I looking at? What's going on here? This painting is called The Return. Magritte painted it in 1940. It is an excellent example of Magritte's fascination with mystery, juxtaposition, and replacement. Juxtaposition is placing two or more things side by side to compare and contrast. Look at how he juxtaposes light and dark, or day and night. Replacement is replacing an expected object with an unexpected one. We would expect to see a bird, but he replaced the bird with the sky. Since Magritte painted a night sky and a daytime for the bird might represent the next day or the following morning. This painting might be about the promise of tomorrow. The bird will come to take care of the eggs, and the eggs will hatch baby birds. These are things that will happen. The promise of the future, or the promise of life. As the title suggests, the return. The day will return after the night, just as the bird will return to the nest. Magritte painted several similar images of birds. The birds look like they have stamped a hole in the sky in the shape of their bodies. Magritte shows the outline shape of the birds and replaces the inside with a different image. These pictures look dreamlike and stirs mystery and questions, just as Magritte would have wanted. Now, we're going to take inspiration from Magritte's The Return and do our own version. For my version, I'll put on a modern twist and use the image of pigeons sitting on telephone wires. For this project, you will need a canvas, and we will begin by doing a drawing, so you'll need a pencil. But for the purposes of this video, so that you could see more clearly, I'll be drawing with a marker. We will begin by drawing our bird in the center of our canvas, since our bird is the focal point. We also want to make sure we draw our bird large enough so that you'll be able to paint it in. I will begin by drawing my head up in the corner so that I will leave room for the neck, the body, and the tail. Let's begin. I will start with a circle shape to represent the bird's head. Then I will put in a thin triangular beak pointing out. Next, I will put in a short neck for the bird. And now I have this space here to put in the larger body and the long tail. Draw the bird's body and tail. And remember, you can always pause and rewind this video at any time. There's my outline of the bird. Next, I will draw his feet and diagonal lines to represent the telephone pole wires. And if you want, you could add in a few more telephone pole wires. And now I will add eggs in a nest and a little bit of the background near the bottom of my canvas. See how I drew the eggs in a nest? And now let's draw a little bit of a background near the base of our canvas. For example, you can draw tops of trees, hills, or even rooftops. Go ahead and draw a background scenery near the bottom of the canvas. You can draw tops of trees, tops of buildings, and any sort of ground or hills. And remember, you can always pause and rewind this video at any time. And there's my background scenery. I have a few rooftops, tops of trees, and even a little bit of a hill. Now it's time to paint in our image. You will need acrylic or tempera paint, paintbrushes, a mixing plate or palette, and a water container to rinse your brushes. Now before we start painting, you need to think about what you want for your sky and your bird. For example, will your sky be daytime, nighttime, or a sunset? And how will your bird contrast with it? How will your bird be its opposite? Maybe you will do a daytime sky and a nighttime bird. I'll be painting a daytime sky by using light blue. What sky will you do? Go ahead and have fun painting in the sky. And remember, you can always pause and rewind this video at any time. Next, I'm going to paint in my bird. And since I made a daytime sky, I'm going to do a nighttime bird. So I'm going to paint in my bird a very dark blue. Since I'll be making my bird the night sky, I'm using a very dark blue, and I'm trying my best to color inside the lines. What color will you paint in your bird? Go ahead and have fun painting. Now, whatever color you chose for the inside of your bird, you want to save some of that for later because at the very end, we will paint in our telephone wires. Next, it's time to paint in our background near the base of our canvas. I'll be painting in my rooftops, the top of my trees, the hill, and the bird's nest. Take your time as you paint in the background scenery near the bottom of your canvas. And remember, you can always pause and rewind this video at any time. Now it's time for the details. I will use that same dark blue color to do the telephone wires. Using a small thin brush and the same dark blue color as my bird, I am painting in the telephone wires. And I will also paint in clouds in the sky. Since I did a daytime sky, I'm painting in clouds. And depending on the type of sky that you did, you can paint in additional features into your sky. And lastly, using a small detail brush, I will dot in stars inside of my bird's body. Since I did a nighttime sky for the bird, I'm painting in little stars and a crescent moon. And now I'm finished with my painting.